Welcome to episode 86 of the current Backloggers. The date is December 18th. I'm your host, KCP, along with my good friend co-host, Cody G. Cody, how's it going?
It's going, man.
I'm getting two different energies.
What's up?
I'm getting two different energies here.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, you know?
Yeah, you're off work for a few days, right?
No. That's not Christmas. I'm off for 3 days. Well,
Oh, that's
my
coming
weekend
up.
plus a day,
I gotcha.
and then New Year's I'm off a couple days.
I got you.
We did 2024.
That's right. Anything you want to talk about you've been up to?
I just went to the Springfield Toy Show.
Mm-hmm. How was that?
That was a lot of fun. That was good. I ran into one of my favorite YouTubers, Froggy Flips. I'm watching him for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a much smaller channel. Definitely under 5,000 subs, and now he's at like 400,000 subs. And I saw him in the parking lot, and I was like, "Oh shit, Anthony, what's up, man?" And I used his real name. That's how much of a fan I am.
Uh-huh.
I knew his name. And he's like, "What's up, man?" And we were talking. He's like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" And I had the GoPro on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah." And so he's like, "All right, well, hang on." And then he's like, "Okay." Then he turned his camera on. He's like, "Go ahead." And I realized, oh shit, he wants me to like do a call out to my channel. And I was like, CODYGROVE RESPCCCT. No, and I just ran away giggling, and I didn't know what to do, and I just made it feel full of myself. And he's like, "Okay," and just turned off his camera.
Did you actually run away giggling?
No,
but I couldn't see that.
Yeah, it's real awkward, and there's no way he includes that in his video. He's definitely expecting more from me than just shouting my letters of my name at him. And Cody Grove. I was like a fifth grader practicing his first and last name, or a kindergartner.
No, that's great.
So I had a chance to have a channel to have 400,000 subs to do a shout out, and he's told he wanted to do for free in his video, and I fucked it all up. And, ruined that.
So you probably don't want him to include it anyways, then.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I'd be
you're
okay with that.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel like if he took the time to do it, he's probably gonna have it in there.
Yeah, I just don't know what point he put in the video though, because it's just some random guy just shouting his name.
Did you go to Toy Show alone, or did you find somebody to go with?
Yeah, I went with Will.
Oh,
Will
okay.
came with me. That is a close friend of mine that's super into toys. Mostly wrestling action figures, but.
Gotcha. Anything you want to talk about at the toy show besides maybe your pickups later?
Yeah, I just got a shit ton of pickups. I'm sure we'll be fine with the toys being in pickup section now.
Yeah.
I did. One of the vendors told me this is the last convention of Ohio, which that makes sense. But he said he does it professionally, and I was like, "You just stay in Ohio. How is that possible?" He said there's like at least 40 conventions he goes to in a year in Ohio.
That's fucking nuts.
And then he's told me about a Facebook group that has all of these in them, so that way I could be, I could go spend more money and make more of a fool of myself at these conventions.
That sounds good, though.
Yep. Don't forget, CODYGROVE. What's that spell? Cringe.
What if you put in the video and you spelled it wrong, too? Anything else you want to talk about that you've been up to?
No.
All right. Been up to the normal work week, getting a little overtime in. I kind of put it day by day to make it easier to remember shit here. Tuesday, I went to the parade for the Columbus Crew Championship. It was pretty fucking dope. I got real lucky because I had appointment with a dermatologist I scheduled probably like 4 months ago. So I took a half day of sickness this day, and it happened to be the same day as the parade. So I got real fucking lucky. And the parade was at noon. I was off at 11:30. I get down there in time for it. And then my dermatology appointment was at 2. And, well, it's technically at 2:15, but they wanted to get there at 2. But I feel like every time you get there early for appointments, they just have you sit there. So I was like, I can stretch a little bit. And I got there at 2:14. So I got there in time for the appointment, though. But it was crazy. Everything like lined up perfectly. But I almost looked like a big asshole. And
Was the parade popping? Was there a lot of people there?
there was relative because they did it Tuesday at noon. So I was kind of expecting, or not expecting, because I know Columbus sports fans are crazy. But I mean, it would have been reasonable if there was just like a few hundred people down there because it's work day, school day. So I was kind of concerned they would just come down. There'd be like huge blank spots where there's definitely some spots where there wasn't a lot of people. And it's hard to tell how many there was like being in the middle of it. But I would imagine there was thousands of people there. It was quite impressive for a Tuesday on noon for a parade. Which seems like it's a weird day to do the parade, but I know every sports team does it early for some reason, which I think is odd. But they could at least do it on a weekend. But then I saw all the MLS teams at like 3 o'clock that day started making announcements of players being re-signed or let go. So I think that's the only choice they had because I think they want to get the parade in by the time of deadlines of re-signing and cutting players. Because I feel like that would have been real awkward to be like, yeah, this guy's not actually on the team anymore, just so you know, but here he is celebrating with us. So it's not the league screwing the team over like normal. I think it would have happened to any team, but I feel like the league should restructure it for that not to happen. That seems pretty fucking dumb. Like do it 2 weeks after the season or something so they have weekends to work with and shit. And then working between that, but Friday, well, actually Thursday, I guess was my start of preparation for a colonoscopy on Friday. So that was
colonoscopy. What the fuck are you? You got your back fucked up. You got your dermatologist. Your colonoscopy. What? So you're gonna get some fingers up your ass, right? Or is it a whole robot? Or
it's a camera up my ass. It already went up my ass.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and I got split roasted. It went in my mouth too.
Jesus Christ! What is this for?
The colonoscopy is because I've had so many stomach issues, so I wanted to see what's maybe happening. And then down my throat is called an EGD, and it's to look at my acid reflux, see what's happening there, what's acting up. So don't get the results for 14 days. So we'll see what it shows. I don't think I talked about it here when I first set up this appointment. So my doctor, I talked to him about my issues. He's like, yeah, I'll set you up with a specialist. And I went and talked to him, and he was like, so why do you want this done? And I was like, well, I'm having stomach issues. I told him all the same stuff. I have acid reflux. And so it could be serious stuff, but pretty mundane information to give him. And he's like, okay, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. I wouldn't worry at your age that it's cancer or anything. And I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't worried, but now you just said that. Doctors are supposed to do everything they can to make you feel better. And I was like, I never have once brought up cancer. I said, I have stomach issues and acid reflux. So I guess in 14 days,
Don't worry. It's not AIDS.
Yeah.
It's definitely not AIDS, dude. So how did they get past all the guy cum in your mouth and ass? Did the camera get through all that?
I was knocked out for it, so they probably quite the mission, but they did it. Or maybe they didn't, and they're just like, yeah, we'll give you the results later. Let's get them out of here. Have you ever done a colonoscopy?
Given or received?
That's a no. The preparation is fucking awful. You have to drink this fucking mixture. I know I'm a picky eater, but there's all kinds of stuff about how much you'll not like it and tips to avoid. So that coupled with the fact of how picky I am, it was quite the mission. It's a jug of all kind of substances and shit of medicine, and then it's lime flavored, which is one of my least favorite flavored to try and make it taste a little better. And you have to drink 2 liters after 5 p.m. the day before. And then my appointment was at 1 o'clock, and you had to finish all of that within 4 hours and 2 hours before your appointment. So 4 liters of this stuff over 2 nights, or one night and one morning. And
Were you
it was,
gagging?
oh God, I was gagging so fucking bad. And it said these were symptoms, so I don't think it's me being dramatic. I got the worst chills I ever had, and I had a hoodie on and pants, and I was sitting here shaking and getting terrible headaches and feeling like I was going to throw up. And then you have to drink 8 ounces every 15 minutes. So it's just like nonstop of this nasty ass shit.
Will it just clean you out or something?
Oh, yeah, it cleans you out. By the end of it, you're just spraying out clear liquid out your ass. It's fucking terrible.
Oh my god, damn it, dude.
And then after I got it done, they're like, "Yeah, we want to see you back in 3 months." And I was like, "Oh no," because I knew I had to do another colonoscopy at some point because you do them more when you get older. But I was like, 3 months? I was already dreading doing this years and years ahead. And then I was like, I know that nobody likes this stuff. I know that everybody hates drinking it. But is there any tips or any alternatives I can use? And she cut me off, and she went, "Oh, we're just doing the EGD next time. It's not a colonoscopy." I was like, "Oh, thank God." So luckily, it just goes down my throat. But I was like, "God damn it!" When she said it, I was like, "I'm about to get chills already again." Yeah, I saved that for here because I thought thought maybe about telling you yesterday, but I was like, "Yeah, he'll be better on here." So maybe by the time I come back, I'll have more info that I can share with you. And then Friday, that same night, don't tell police. You're not supposed to drive, but Darlington Nagby, captain of the Columbus crew, was doing a meet and greet and signing autographs at Easton, at Dick's. So I went and did that, and he couldn't have been any more nice and down to earth and super fucking cool.
Did you tell him about the colonoscopy?
Yeah. Imagine if I did, still on the medicine, just not even knowing. Big fan. Let me tell you what came out of my asshole. And then Saturday.
I'm breaking the law to be here.
Saturday we did cookie day with my niece and nephew. It was a good time. They're fucking wild as shit and just the biggest messes you can imagine. I think I told you this in person, but they put up a dog gate because the dogs were getting too crazy. And my 2-year-old nephew asked me if I could lift him over the gates of hell when they put it up. And
didn't he call you Uncle Casey too?
Yeah, I said, "Uncle Casey, can you lift me over the gates of hell?" And I was like, "What the fuck? What a wild sentence!"
Could have recorded that and put it right at the beginning of a crazy death metal song. Uncle Casey, can you lift me over the gates of hell? I could see it now.
Then the only other thing.
Him saying that, please.
Yeah, I can definitely try.
Yeah, just that exact thing. Uncle Casey, can you lift me over the gates of hell?
Yeah, it goes one of two ways, like it does for most kids. Either when the camera's on him, he just does it too much and eats it up, or it just shuts down. So
I just want at least audio, because that'd be hilarious right before a crazy death metal drop.
Then the only other thing this week was last night at your house, we did a little Christmas to get together and exchange, and recorded something for your channel, gaming related too. But
gamer fuel.
But that's it for me this week. You have any corrections, question, or feedback?
Yeah, I think at some point I had said Dragon Dogma, Dark Horizon is was a sequel, but Dragon Dogma is only one game, and Dark Arisen is the game of the year with new DLC.
Oh, I got you. Look at that. That's like a a real quick correction there. The only thing I have is probably the obvious one if you listened or watched last week was the audio issues, which we made a lot of changes here, so let us know how it sounds this episode. And then, as always, you can send any corrections, question, or feedback to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. You have anything from last week's you want to talk about that we forgot about?
No.
I know there's something, as I told you before, but I'm blanking on it. So we can go to news if you want.
Okay. All right. This is quite a hefty week for news.
Yeah.
So probably we'll start off with Netflix. Netflix has been expanding their gaming section. Their gaming. I don't even know what you would call it because it doesn't cost any extra. It's just part of Netflix. It's only on mobile devices too. But yeah, this year they've been expanding on that, and then they just made the announcement on December 13th that this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Netflix plans Sonic the Hedgehog, Squid Games, video games as expand slate to familiar IP. So Netflix is ramping up their gaming portion. I wish they would go kind of how Prime does it, where you can play the games. I wish there's like a Bluetooth controller I could play these games on TV or something. But yeah, so some of the games, a Sonic the Hedgehog game called Sonic Mania Plus, which will be exclusive to the platform. Yeah, that's it. And then of course the Squid Games game, which I think would be perfect. That is I don't know. I think it'd be a perfect video game.
Squid Game.
Hey,
Have you ever tried any of this next? Oh, sorry, are you done with
no,
that
go
one?
ahead. No, you're good.
Have you ever tried any of this Netflix stuff? I always see it, but I've never tried any of their game shit.
No, I haven't.
Be curious about it.
Some other games coming in 2024 is titles based on Money Heist. I don't know what that is. Virgin River. I don't know what that is. Virgin River. There's a joke there. I just don't know how to do it. And Chicken Run. It's a fantastic movie and toy line from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched any of the Netflix stuff yet, but something I want to check out.
The new Chicken Run, you mean?
Yeah.
Is it not just a movie?
Is it a movie? I thought it was a TV
I thought
show.
So I wanted to watch it too, and I hope it's good. And I'm confident it's going to be, but there's part of me that worries those suck ass.
Then they're just bringing over a bunch of different mobile games. So yeah, Netflix making them available on there.
So since Cody couldn't come up with a virgin joke, you guys let us know your best virgin joke in the comments instead.
The Virgin River joke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then I think you also had sent me an article about. Looks like you might have removed it, but oh no, here it is. GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas are now also available through Netflix, which I think is just like their ports of their. I think it was the
Grove Street ones.
Yeah, the Grove Street ones, right? It's kind of weird because I think these are already on mobile as well.
I know it'll never happen because they'll be passing through potential sales that Xbox and PlayStation could make, and Nintendo if it's the right game. But it'd be cool if you could play any of these and get achievements and shit for doing it. But like I said, I know that'll never happen with the models they have.
Yeah, Netflix. I'm surprised Game Pass isn't over there yet.
Yeah.
Right. The other news. Looks like A24 and Kojima Productions are coming together to make a Death Stranding movie. I wonder if this is on the back of. I heard A24 saying they need to make more Hollywood-esque movies to make money because A24 movies supposedly are not making as enough money as they wanted.
It seems like I feel like Death Stranding would be an odd Hollywood choice, maybe compared to some of the stuff they do. I feel like Metal Gear would be way more Hollywood. It probably doesn't fit their style because I know Death Stranding's weird and that's what they do. But I wonder how much Death Stranding really connects like mainstream audiences, or it just doesn't matter because it doesn't matter if they know who Kojima or there's a game. They'll just think it's another A24 movie.
Kojima's big into films too, so I wonder if it's Because here's a quote from Kojima himself. A24 was born into the world about 10 years ago. Their presence is singular within the industry. They are like no other. So I wonder if he's just a fan of theirs and that's why he might have approached them.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you know I'm not the biggest A24 fan. I'm not the biggest Kojima fan, but this is at least something I know of. I've never even played Death Stranding either, but I'd be curious to see what happens with this.
Yeah, and hopefully A24 can make some money because they've really been whoring themselves out with some of this shit they sell on their website. Meanwhile, it's really hard to find 4K and Blu-ray copies of their movies.
I just noticed how washed out, especially the left side of my face is. I feel like we're getting whitewashed here, so just want to call it out, you know?
Hell yeah, dude.
Don't want to be a bigot.
All right. Let's say this article is from PlayStationLifestyles.net. Lack of Alan Wake 2 physical disc seems to have hurt sales. Despite being a critical hit, Alan Wake 2 may have suffered in terms of sales, partially owing to the lack of physical discs. I think there was here it is. This guy Pierce Harding Rolls. They've tweeted him throughout the article, which I think he is. I don't know. Do you know who that is?
No,
Does he work? He's a game industry analyst.
Oh, okay.
So he's not part of the Alan Wake. He's not part of Remedy. Our global Alan Wake 2 sales estimate across consoles end of November is 850,000 copies. That is awful. I think there'll be a fair amount of interest in reduced price and the subservice inclusion down the line, I assume. That is wild. Only 850,000 copies.
Yeah, that's real sad, especially. I don't know what Alan Wake 1 sold, but I feel like it was much higher than that, and it was on one system. And it's interesting to see what will happen with their next games, because I feel like this was the first game I can think of that big game that was digital only like that. I don't know if you can think of any like that are that big.
No, not right off the hit. No, not really. But I don't know. I don't know how much this being physical would have helped them. It might have hindered them too. Who knows? Because physical sales is 20% of most games. I don't know. You have to Google it. But I feel like that's what I've heard before. Because I knew it surpassed each other. Like, let's see, how many, or what percentage would you type in? What percentage of physical games sold versus digital? I feel like a boomer when when your parents ask you to Google something and they fucking go on for a whole paragraph. Yeah. Okay. 90% of game sales, so it's gotten worse. It's worse than I thought. 90% of game sales in 2022 were digital. So I don't think that was their problem.
90% was digital?
Yeah.
Wonder where they're getting that from, because I know that it was a big deal recently because digital finally caught up with sales on physical, like became 50-50.
Well, I think this is like even games that are all digital.
Oh, okay.
So it's like every video game sold in America, 90% of, or in the world, 90% of them were digital.
Yeah, I don't know. Because if it is that small percentage, yeah, you'd think it couldn't make that big of a difference. I don't know how well Alan Wake 1 sold, but I thought it sold decently well, and that was just on Xbox. So it'd be crazy to me that, especially I know most people don't base stuff off video game reviews, and I'm one of the people that do that the least. But it got crazy good reviews, good word of mouth. People like the first one, love it. So it'd be odd to me that it sells so poorly.
So it looks like 72% of digital sales were for consoles. So maybe you were hearing like the console digital versus physical.
Okay.
So 2022, 72% of video games, 72% of video games sold on consoles were digital. So I think this article that you sent also says it probably didn't help any of the Alan Wake 2 launch in a busy period packed with blockbusters like Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Also,
And
sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good. And that there was like zero marketing. I didn't know this game came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea until I heard like I checked out a podcast for a minute and went back in and they were talking about it. I was like, I had no idea this came out. So there's probably very little promoting on it of it. But yeah, that's awful, man. Not to break a million.
I think one big thing holding back digitally, especially at least on PC, is that it's only on Epic Store. I feel like on Steam that could have helped it a lot. So I feel like
Oh yeah.
Epic's game bigger, but Steam's definitely bigger. Or if you had it on both, I think it would have helped it a lot. And a lot of people are saying how the game's super impressive, like graphic wise and performance wise, that I feel like a lot of PC snobs will want to play it, even if they don't care about Alan Wake. And if you really care about Alan Wake, a lot of people like want to play on PC because of that.
All right. And then you had an article here about the titty streamers finally getting their own
Got those in there? What the hell are you
own
talking
section.
about?
But it's been updated since then. Twitch has kind of backtracked on that. I think because of the shit they got in trouble for. But essentially, Twitch was trying to make a artistic nudity portion of streamers. I guess they love the money from titty streamers because they had the hot tub. There's like a hot tub section, like whatever Twitch sees, like, oh, this is making money. Let's make its own little area here for it. I mean, especially if you like look at what this Twitch streamer this was around is just fucking awful, just abysmal. I don't. If you're on there watching titty streamers like that, dude, there's whole websites. There's also I don't know if like people view them as their girlfriends or what, but then there's also ChatterBait, which is actually fucking and sucking and all that shit on there. You don't need to be on Twitch with this girl that just has her titties out and that you can't even see. Dude, ChatterBait's awesome. Especially go to ChatterBait and go to like me and my friend Andrew, you could go on ChatterBait and you could go and go all the way down to like this people that don't even have views, right? So he had ran into an old man dressed as a woman, and he was just jerking off on there and stuff. And we almost like started interviewing him like in the little chat thing. And it was so fucking interesting. But basically he admitted like, yeah, my wife's in the house and I do this secretly. She has no idea I get on here and jerk off as a woman. It was just so interesting. And it was just his basement.
You said he's jacking off as a woman. I mean,
yeah.
You don't go so far jack off as a woman, right? Because once he starts jacking off,
he had a wig. He was in the dress to the hilts. Let me put it that way. And then he was just jerking off.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. The most important part when you're jacking off, then you see it's not a woman real fast, right?
Because yeah. You knew that he wasn't hiding it. There was no. Oh well, maybe if I squint my eyes, that's Grandpa with a wig. But I don't get why you go to fucking Twitch for that. Their ChatterBait is way more interesting, way cooler. You wouldn't get that. Like, I want to see the Twitch like closeted transgender man, Grandpa.
That's been the name of this episode.
Yeah, so I don't. I know they backtracked on this, so this is not a thing anymore. Twitch, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing over there.
So how they backtrack on it then? They're just not doing that anymore?
Yeah. So effective today, we are rolling back the artistic nudity changes. Moving forward, depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch. So unfortunately, Grandpa's gonna have to stay on ChatterBait. It was just so interesting talking to this guy who's got this secret life on ChatterBait. He didn't even want money. He was just there to. He wanted us to like talk down to him and stuff too.
Oh God.
And we just wanted to interview him, and he's just like, "Tell me how naughty I've been." We're like, "No, tell us about like what would happen if your wife walked in the room right now." If you're ever bored, just get on there with you and your friends. Find like a real interesting person on there, and just watch it with your boys. Go on there, hang out with your dudes. That and fucked. Those two websites, man.
And Celeb Jihad. Let's mention it
Celeb
every week
Jihad.
now.
So the next set of news here from IGN: The Last of Us multiplayer game canceled. It will focus on single-player games going forward. Naughty Dog has stopped development of The Last of Us Online. It's kind of crazy to think about, especially all the shit going down with Bungie. It was wild to me that they would stop this, but then it makes sense because this developer goes into like, hey, like we would have to keep this as a live service game, and we have to work on this while working on single player, and at the detriment of our single player games. So yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know. I just think take the stuff that they had made so far for Last of Us Online and just have a multiplayer in your next single player game.
That's what I was gonna say. I wish that. Yeah, I get that aspect that they would have to commit so much time and money. I wish it didn't have to be that way. I wish it could be somewhere in the middle and just fucking have multiplayer like we used to have. But I also get why companies don't do it, because even if a game's decently popular, it lasts a month, a few months at most, and then nobody's playing it again. So it's kind of you can see both angles of it, because you almost need a games of service to survive now. But then if it doesn't land, you're totally screwed. And if you put all that time and money into a multiplayer and everybody's gone in a month or two, then I don't know if it's really worth it to them.
Well, I mean, also like Naughty Dog is the best of the best. Imagine Sony having your flagship developer being paraded online like, oh, this live games as a service sucks ass. Or imagine when inevitably when they had to shut it down if it failed. Be like, oh, they had to shut down the game. Look at how much of a failure Naughty Dog is, tainting their name.
Yeah.
So it makes total sense why they couldn't do this. Just take what the assets and the shit you guys have worked on and move it into a multiplayer game.
No, I'd totally be down for that. I know that too many games were squeezing multiplayer in at the time because everybody's trying to get people to stick with games, and that's why games of service kind of happened. Everybody's trying to find ways to get people to not sell their games or trade them in. So I know too many games were just jamming multiplayer in there for no reason. But I think plenty of games did it and made that, well, probably was a reason. But I thought it ended up being great multiplayer and gets too much hate. Like Bioshock 2 is still one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time. Uncharted, I think Naughty Dog had really good multiplayer, super fun. The original factions, because that's what this was going to be. Going to be the Last of Us factions, but just a way bigger thing, and that's what their original multiplayer was in The Last of Us. I didn't play a whole lot of it, but it was super cool, and the people that played it a lot said it's amazing. So I wish we could just get back to that, where we have some standard basic multiplayer, and it didn't have to be fucking 1,000 tiers of shit and customizable out the wazoo, as the kids say. But I know that's kind of how they make their money and what keeps people addicted now. So I don't know if we'll ever really get back to that.
All right, the next news comes from Xbox.com. Play Xbox Game Pass on even more devices with MetaQuest 3. Players of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate can now enjoy hundreds of games with their MetaQuest headsets with the Xbox Cloud Gaming app. So essentially you can play Game Pass, the cloud games on your MetaQuest, which kind of sucks. That kind of limits what games are on there. It'd be cool if it was everything, but I get it. And then it's just essentially, it doesn't turn these games into VR, of course.
Mhm.
It's just you basically have a screen in the VR world as large as you want. And then I guess MetaQuest has an option to like, you can see your surroundings as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? Okay, why the fuck would I just not place on my TV then? Why do I need this pretend thing, unless you had a shittier TV. But I feel like if you have a Meta Quest 3, you probably have a decent TV.
Yeah,
I do like on VR. I think about like the movie theater stuff. Like you can put in whatever you want and watch movies or YouTube videos with your friends that way.
mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of cool if you could have like a couch co-op vibe to this. Would be
Yeah,
nice,
that'd be awesome.
but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, when you read the article, it sounds like the coolest thing in the world, getting that many VR games for free. But yeah, in reality, it's just like a flat screen version of it in VR. But that's still cool. I'm a little sad that it's Oculus 3 because I only have the second one. So I won't be able to do it. Which it's weird that you can't do it on the second one because it's not like they're doing anything super crazy with it. It's not VR, like we said. So I don't know what's limiting it, or they're just trying to get people to buy the third one, maybe. But yeah, I think if you didn't have as good TV, would be a reason to do it. I think also a really cool reason, especially because I feel like a lot of people have VR or younger people. I feel like a awesome reason to do it would be the same reason people talk about like remote play now. If somebody is using the TV, you could still play and put it on that way. I think that'd be cool. And even though it isn't real VR, which if they could find a way to do that and have like Games Pass kind of thing, that'd be fucking awesome. But even a flat screen, like when you watch videos, like you said in VR and stuff, and just having it look like a giant screen, it's pretty cool. So I could see the appeal to it. I wouldn't play games like that all the time, definitely if I could, but I can see why it'd be interesting.
yeah. It'd be cool if they could have different. If Game Pass, if they would let. Here's an idea I just had. If they let Game Pass or Xbox design their own VR worlds, so like say you could play Halo on a Covenant ship or something like that.
That'd be
That'd be
awesome.
hilarious, especially if you're on like a couch with Master Chief. Or it'd be cool if they done something like that. Essentially,
Couch with Cortana.
hey,
No,
yeah. So it's just cool they
that'd
had
be
like
cool.
little different VR worlds that you could pop into and play Xbox, and but meanwhile you're on a Pelican or something.
Or you're in the game show of 1 versus 100 in VR.
There you go.
Bring it back.
There's probably only 100 people that remember that game too. So
It was
next
ahead of his
article.
time.
Next article is from Engadget. This is Amazon's deal to make Warhammer 40K movies and TV shows is done. So the Game Workshop, as it says, it's quote an elite band of screenwriters is coming together to create shows and movies. As long as it's not the same dudes that had anything to do with that fucking Lord of the Rings show. Assisting them will be Henry Cavill. How do you say his last name? I always fuck this up.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
He's like a famous Warhammer fan. So I think that's in really good hands.
And he was in The Witcher,
Um,
and it was reported the reason he was dropping out is because it was becoming less like the games, and he was upset about it.
yes, so I think that's good. And it says he'll also be either assisting them or producing them or whatever, but also probably act in a few of them. I think he should play the Emperor. I think it'd be fucking hilarious and awesome. But it'd probably be a couple. It says don't expect him anytime soon. Takes at least a couple years for projects to go from development phase to something you can actually watch. I do not need a. There's plenty of women. There is plenty of places to put your political bullshit, but please do not put it here. Which is kind of ironic because in many ways it's almost like a parody of politics. Warhammer is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot, but I like what I know. It's a very, very cool world. And just seeing a lot of fan made shit online. I know Warhammer has like removed a lot of fan made shit on YouTube or a lot of cease and assist stuff of fan made animations and things like that. But it's because you guys don't fucking make anything, so fans go out and make their own thing. But they really cut down on that, so it'd be cool if they incorporated some of those guys because the shit they've made has been awesome. There's not very many women soldiers 40K. I'm thinking of a few, like the Inquisition, I think's got some females. Sure they exist, but I do not need community college brochures of Space Marines. I don't need a checkbox for. Oh, we don't have a Puerto Rican to play the Chaos Marine. I just want Warhammer 40K content. I don't need to be preached at. So, yeah, that's my thought.
I put this one in here mainly for you. I feel like Warhammer has so many branch offs and different stories. I don't know if this is gonna be like, I don't know what this is. If this Space Marine, or they're doing multiple things, like multiple parts of the world, or what it is. Because I feel like, yeah, it's probably gonna feel, if they do it how you would think, it's probably gonna feel a lot like Lord of the Rings. And I can only handle so much of that fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings, and there's certain things I like, but fantasy generally is my favorite genre. But that's why I like Space Marine so much. It was kind of a sci-fi fantasy and over-the-top gore, that'd be fucking awesome to have that in live action.
Yeah, with being Warhammer 40K, you're pretty far away from the fantasy shit.
Oh, okay.
Warhammer is just fantasy. 40K is more the Space Marines.
Oh, that sounds better for me then.
Yeah,
And
it's tons of gore.
let's say
Tyranids.
gore.
Yeah, dude, if they do this right, this could be really awesome. But yeah.
Did you, speaking of Warhammer, did you see the collector's edition that they announced for Space Marine 2?
I did. It's very cool.
I was gonna say, I don't like it enough to get that, but I thought you would, and even though I don't like enough to get it, that statue is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I've thought about it.
Still thinking about it, or you're not gonna?
I'm still thinking about it. I still need to buy the first one's collector's edition, which I almost bought it at Torg. Still kind of think like, damn, you should just bought less shit and bought that. How much is the collector's edition? I don't even think it was that crazy.
I actually never saw a price. I just saw like the promotional, like them trying to sell it.
$250. So yeah, it's more than I thought. I thought this would be under. But yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I hope McFarlane releases some figures for this game, because I think McFarlane did for that wave-based one. What was that? The prisoners and shit. Forget. But McFarlane did figures for that, so it'd be cool if he did some for Space Marines.
Yeah,
the video game Space Marines.
Yeah, I'm sure he could kill that. What else we got?
That is the last of the news.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
All right. The biggest news of the week, at least for us personally. I know it's not shocking at all. I feel like I get why other people are covering different than us, because I feel like E3 didn't matter to other people like it did us. But the ESA themselves, which is the company that runs E3, posted and said, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories. And that was it. And that was one of the saddest things I've ever read. I know I put it in our chat, I know it's a running joke about me crying, especially game-related stuff. But I literally started crying when I read this, and it's not even, I absolutely love E3, and it's like the Super Bowl of video games. I love the excitement and thinking about that, but it's more thinking about all the memories that went along with that. I've literally lived in 3 different places watching E3, and obviously all the announcements, like I said, all the consoles, all the things that have come with that, but there's 3 locations I've watched this in over multiple decades, like it said, because I've been watching for as long as I can remember. I used to, when I first would look up E3, it would be in, at the time, GamePro, Nintendo Power, official Xbox magazine, and that's how I saw E3, and I was like, man, this is something I need to go to, and was amazed by it. And then internet started becoming more a thing, or at least we had it. I'm sure the internet was obviously a thing already, thanks to Al Gore. But um, then being able to watch it online as it happened just brought a whole nother level to it, even though I couldn't go to it. And then at this time, I was watching by myself online, and I was telling anybody that wanted to listen. I was telling my mom, my sister, my brother, no, yeah, it's cool. No, but you don't understand. And just talking about it and losing my mind. And then friend of the show, Derek, started watching it, and we watched it separately, but then we would talk about it, so give me somebody to talk with. And we would just be losing our minds and then meeting up together to talk about it. And then we started the famous website, Webox.net and or .webs. Derek could probably tell you. And it was not famous. It was us. We were pretty proud of it, but it was it got impressive amount of visitors for a little new. We knew what we were doing, and not even being an official website. But you could tell the URL I just gave you. But I don't want to exaggerate, but I know it was getting a decent amount of views a day, and we were shocked. And then I got an email from the ESA that we were invited to E3, and I was like, this has to be fake. And I looked, and everything was real from the ESA, and I was, holy shit. And I was 18 at that time, and Derek wanted to go, but he couldn't. And I was like, Mom, I need to go. I'll drive there. I'll fly there. I'll do whatever. And she's like, you're not going alone. And I said, nobody else is going to go with me. And she's like, there'll be other years. There isn't. And then it became more sad when, I'm pretty sure I talked about him on here, or things we shouldn't admit. My sister's old boyfriend, Manning, character, great guy. I told him about that years later, and he loves video games too. He used to do a podcast, and he's a decent amount older. So she's like, you had to go an adult, even though I was 18, so I was an adult. But she loved him too, so she would trust him. And he was like, why didn't you call me? We would have went. And I was like, oh my God, that just makes it 10 times worse, because you're somebody I could have actually gone with and been to E3. And then this past, what should have been E3, me and Derek had a commitment, because we were like, this isn't going to last much longer, which it didn't, that we were going to go to E3, and then they canceled it. So yeah, but it's just thinking about all the different people in that time, and the dumb memories we had, the fun we had, and getting everybody together. And it's so long now that there's a handful of people. Okay. A handful of people that I don't even talk to anymore. I don't know where they're at. That's how long E3 has been a thing. And I think Cody's going to cry, but he doesn't want it on video because he likes making fun of me. So as cool as the announcements are, as much as it was amazing to see Halo, consoles, all these things for the first time, the surprises that you see, it's like most things for me. It's the memories and the people that you're around, and it brings together. And that's something that I think people that really hate on games and think they have no value, I think that's the one thing that they can never understand. Well, I hope they do. I'm not saying that condescendingly. They don't understand. I don't think they'll take the time to. Is that it's not just playing the game. It is for some people, and it can be for me sometimes. I'm not better than other people, but I'm saying I think it's a lot more than that. I think sports are the same way. I think more people see it with sports that way. But I think the same thing happens in sports. People, it's just a game, which it is if you break it down to that, but it's not if you realize that people aren't watching just for the game. At least a lot of people aren't. But yeah, the memories of E3, and then you obviously have all the other stuff, all the cringe that went with E3, and that's something that, well, E3 as a whole has declined for so long now that it wasn't even really itself, and trying to do the E3 parties like we used to do, it didn't feel the same, so you knew it was going to happen. And I think that's why it's not a big news story for people, because they're covering it just as analysts, which makes sense. And anybody had a brain could see E3 was dying from a mile away. So it's not shocking at all. That doesn't make it not sad. Yeah, maybe it's less shocking. Like if it ended 10 years ago, it'd be sad and you'd be like, what the hell? There's no signs of this ending. But it's sad, even though it's predictable. But it sounds dramatic, but it's just, I feel like a good way to explain it. Not that it's literally the same, even though I feel like to some of us it feels like it. Um, I feel like it's like somebody that has had a terminal illness and you know it's going to happen. Maybe it softens the blow because it's not out of nowhere, but it doesn't make it not sad, if that makes sense. And like I said, I know that's very dramatic. Even though, like I said, for some of us might feel a little bit like that. But I think that's what I would say. And hey, since we're on a sad note and Cody's not back, we were talking about Alan Wake earlier. James McCaffrey passed away today at 65. He's a voice actor of Max Payne and multiple characters in Alan Wake, and he's been in a lot of Remedy games. He seems like he's kind of goes with Remedy. So definitely some actual sad news there. Not that E3 is not sad, but I'm saying that's, I recognize that even though it means to me more than games, it's obviously not the same as somebody dying. And I saw it today, and I feel like you don't really even see that kind of news in games of people like that, but it's on, I'm sure it's because he's been a actor and other stuff, but it's on TMZ, Variety, Fox, and then obviously all your IGNs and Polygons and all those, but kind of crazy, sad, unexpected news. What else do we want to talk about? Like Cody's gone. He's really crying about this, isn't he? What do you guys think? How many inches of water are on the ground right now from his tears? And then he's going to come back and play Mr. Cool. He's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear A3 was going to die. I mean, look at the past 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that wood in the corner by that stupid Minecraft head up there. If you see the water start leaking down, because he's probably upstairs. I would guess it's probably going to start leaking down here soon, I'd imagine. There he is now.
I'm back.
Oh, you're good. Did you recover?
Yeah, it was Renee had spilled cereal everywhere. It's a loud ass noise, and a whole bowl of cornflakes and cereal. It was all over the dogs.
Was it a lot of milk too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, it's not milk. We were talking while you're gone, but it was me and the audience, so you don't gotta worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it went everywhere, and it's dried milk's gonna smell great, especially if we don't get it all up. So.
Anything you want to say? Oh, go ahead.
And the dogs were like covered in it. So then, dogs do that thing where they shake to get water off of them. So it went all over the wall. There's cornflakes just everywhere, and then little pieces of milk.
Not bad. Anything you want to say about E3 before we get out of here? Out of the news, that is.
Just like you said, it's a Super Bowl of video games. It's gonna be fucking really missed. Looking at like some of the displays and shit they used to do for the people who went there, that I'd been sad if I was you if I didn't make it out there. So it'd be missed, but I understand why it's not there anymore. And in many ways, I feel like Sony and the bigger companies, Nintendo, Xbox, they kind of put the nail in the coffin by slowly pulling out of the show.
No, for sure. Yeah, and like you said, it makes sense because, and you could tell from a mile away that the show lessening every time that it was going to happen. And I mean, the show wasn't even the same even before they started doing like multiple days and streaming and everything. It wasn't really the same because everything was so scripted and there wasn't the people playing the games on the stage and all that because they got so ironed out, which obviously production value and try and get people who don't care about games is a way to go. But for people like us that were there for the entertainment as well, I feel like that slowly went away and then went away real fast with streaming. And hopefully, I feel like Jeff Keighley really cares about this kind of stuff. So hopefully he knows he can go all in now without any pressure. But I don't think he'll ever feel like E3. I mean, if he amps it up, I feel like there's just there's a different time and place.
Yeah, because Game Awards is only one little block of time, whereas E3 was multiple days.
Well, not the Game Awards though. I feel like that was the most impressive thing in a long time. I thought. I know you feel differently, but I was thinking more the Summer Games Fest that he does. I feel like
Oh, I
I
forgot
hope,
all about that.
yeah, I hope that will become the new E3, and maybe that the Game Awards will. I don't. Not that I care about the awards, but maybe that'll be more a little bit more the focus, and then more of the big game announcements will be Summer Games Fest, hopefully. Um, there is one more bit of news. It's becoming a weekly thing. I'll send to you here in Messenger. It's not leggings this time, but I mean, if these just keep popping up and it keeps happening, I feel like we need to talk about it, and the audience needs to see.
Oh, you know what today marks?
Is there another anniversary?
Star Wars. Is this when Star Wars came back?
Oh,
8 years ago?
I thought you were. That's not where I thought you were going with this. Is it? It might be. I know it's this time frame, so yeah, it might be.
Yeah, that's great. I've seen this one before. I think it's photoshopped.
Do you?
Yeah, it's just too ridiculous.
That's how I feel about all of hers, though. And then you see it in video and see her, that I think
Look
it's
at look at
real.
the pocket, the top of the
Pocket.
pocket.
I
It's
think it's just
another
getting
ass
stressed out
photo.
by booty.
Oh, you're very, very hopeful here, sir.
All right.
I
Well,
think I think the Photoshop person's two's name's down here in the corner. The OLPP or whatever that is.
oh, is that? I thought that was. Oh yeah. Uh, I thought that was part of like whatever she's standing behind. I thought it was like the wall that had writing on it.
I almost said Hillary Clinton. This is another Hillary Duff ass photo. I do not want a Hillary Clinton ass photo.
Oh, that'd be much better.
Let me see. I found this on Facebook here. Yeah, so then I found the original photo without that thing in the background.
Okay.
Trying to figure out if this is photoshopped or not.
I see what you mean. It does look ridiculous, but I feel like the more I see of her, and especially like in video and stuff, I know you can edit that, but it's a lot harder. That I feel like it looks so ridiculous that you think it can't be real, but it is.
Yeah, no, I don't. I would bet money on this one. I mean, her butt does look good, but I'm pretty certain this is a Photoshop for sure. It's just too ridiculous. Looks like Brazilian butt lift.
Ugh, that's just gross at that point. All right, well, maybe another week. You want to get to media pickups? Or just
Sure.
pickups in general, I guess.
Yeah, because now it includes toys.
Yeah.
Because I never stop. I guess yeah, we'll just do the toys here first. Oh, we can start with these. Speaking of 40K, here is a McFarlane Chaos Marine.
Very nice.
Pick this guy up.
Here, I'll change it to pickups in the doc so I can say it right from now on.
And then here's a Blood Angel Space Marine. McFarlane always kills it, man, with these figures.
Yeah.
He does great. I saw these at Target a couple years ago when they first started coming out. Maybe last year, actually, 2022. This line hasn't been out very long, but I've been wanting them for a while. And I love loose. That way I don't feel responsible for opening them. Because that's how my stupid mind works. It's like, oh, I can't open it. I have to keep it in this package pristine. Then I picked this little grab bag up for like $5, and it's Fortnite figures. So I've been wanting some Fortnite action figures just because I've been so in the series, and it's a good time to buy them. The market's kind of falling out on these. If there ever was a market, it was the Pinata and whatever this fucking gnome guy is. I forget what importance he had in there in the game. Pick those two guys up.
Is there anything important in that game? And I like it.
Do you think these guys fit well together?
I think so. Yeah.
It's the Chaos Marine and this Yeti guy. Like they're from the same toy line.
Oh, they actually are. I thought you were having
No,
a Fortnite
no, I was
one.
kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a Fortnite guy.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait, they were making a joke together there.
And then I picked this up for like $2, I think. I've been trying to get some of these the bigger Power Ranger action figures. What would this be? These are 8 inches.
You know
Eight
how
inch Power Rangers
you know
from
how
the
to figure
original
this
run.
out.
Hey, hell yeah. Um, put your penis up to the webcam and I'll measure it. We'll know if it's about. We'll know this is 8 inches when yours is about a. Your hard penis is about a quarter of this.
Hard penis.
Um, that's the Black Ranger. And what else is in this box of goodies? Oh, this was. You like this one, Casey? It's a Laura Croft action figure from the '90s.
Hell
What
yeah.
does this? What does this make you think of besides the obvious Tomb Raider?
Um,
Maybe this will help you. Does this help you at all? She's doing a V for victory pose right now.
the wrestling characters, like the.
Oh no, I think you put too much thought into this, brother. Oh yeah, Laura. Grandma's boy.
Oh God, I try and not think about that. That's why.
Yeah.
I feel like the reboot of Laura Croft is better character than me.
Um. Then for my birthday, my friend Will got me this. Or for my birthday, for Christmas, he got me this. It's a Spawn figure. Todd McFarlane, his first issue of Spider-Man. Spider-Man had done this on the cover, and then issue 8 of Spawn is a call out to that first issue. So then they made a figure
Nice.
based on that Spawn. So they got me that. What else is in here? I'll save that one for last. Probably the coolest. And then a couple other figures that were a little bit more nostalgic for me than Power Rangers were, just because I was a little almost too young for Power Rangers. It was kind of the ass end of it. But they had a kind of a spin-off called Beetleborgs. I fucking loved them. So there's the green Beetleborg. And then I had these guys too. I think they're called Legacy Knights. These are also Bandai, more Power Ranger shit. But yeah. Do you have any of these guys, the Beetleborgs or Legacy Knights?
No, I don't even remember the Legacy Knights. The
I think it was
Beetleborg, I
Legacy
remember the
Knights.
name, but I think that's when I kind of started jumping off because it didn't feel like Power Rangers to me anymore. But I feel like that's just like the wrestling thing that it's where you start. Not really doesn't feel like wrestling anymore.
So these weren't even spin-offs. They were their own original IPs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I remember the name but didn't like it. Felt like a knockoff.
Legacy Knight. I feel like it was something Knights. Hold on. No way, I'll have to do a correction next week. I had this toy line, but I never. What was this? Probably '98. I'm guessing. Yeah, Mystic Knights. My bad, Mystic
Okay.
Knights. Yeah. So and then Beetleborgs, which I think were right before this one.
I hate that name.
Beetleborgs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard it, but it just sounds gross.
What does it help that the full name's Big Bad Beetleborgs?
No.
Yeah, it was cool. It was basically these kids. It was like a haunted house that they would have like these Universal monster characters in there, almost like goofy parodies, and then they would have powers to become. Basically, these kids could become like Power Rangers.
Okay.
But yeah, so I bought those, and then what else? And then one of my favorite toy lines as a kid. My mom has this picture framed, by the way, because my first day at kindergarten. Not framed, but she has this somewhere in the house. I think I got a copy of it off of her as well. It's my kindergarten photo. So my first day of school, I was wearing a Small Soldiers T-shirt.
Hell yeah.
I was so fucking obsessed with that show. So I picked up. I had these two as a kid, but long gone. I picked these guys up, and then the Burger King chip.
So you don't have to have another correction. You mean movie, right? Or was it a show too?
Oh, movie. Yeah, I
Okay.
said show. Yeah, it's a movie.
No, I was mainly asking because I've been really upset if I missed a whole show of that because I love the movie.
So good, man. I always talk about it's like the premise of Toy Story, but way cooler because they didn't just do stupid shit. They were badass and they fought and killed each other. What else? Okay, so when I was a kid, I have this very vivid memory of Titan AE. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
I love that movie, and I love the toy line. I was obsessed with. I was like a crackhead with this toy line. I used to go around like collect change. Like I would go through like all my piggy banks and shit, and was like just any way I could possibly buy more Titan AE figures. So my grandpa took me to the store to buy this guy one time. I remember going to the store. I picked out a couple of them with him. This is the main character. I picked out this figure and another figure. So I picked this up at the toy show, but it also came with something way cooler. So I was looking at this guy's display case and I saw this in there. I was like, "What the fuck is this, man?" And he was like, "Oh, that is the prototype." So when they make a toy line, they make prototypes, of course. Will was telling me they usually don't make more than like 10 prototypes, just trying different things or different paint or just to see what things look like. So I bought the prototype of that exact figure. So there's like a C or something shit on the back. But yeah, it says different clear packages. So, and he said Titan AE was the guy I bought it from. He said he's seen prototypes pop up the other figures. You can see like the designer's notes on the side of it too, where they've wrote different things on it or whatever. But he said he's never seen anything besides the bad guys, Skarg or whatever they were called, pop up.
I couldn't tell you that now. Be down to rewatch
yeah, man.
that.
So bought a prototype, then threw that in with it for free.
Nice.
Put them. Yeah. So that is all of the toy pickups I had from the Springfield Toy Show. It was tons of fun, man. I didn't even spend that much money. I think all of this was $150 maybe.
And you didn't get Homer or Bart, Maggie, none of them?
Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's Springfield. That was funny. There was a guy had for the 150 I also picked up a big stack of games here too. I'll go over, but he had definitely had like 4 bins of Simpsons toys out, and you saw it a lot there. So I don't know if it was like people were just Springfield. But then so I picked up these games. They're all PlayStation VR games because since I picked one of those up. This is the PlayStation VR demo disc. It was real cheap. I'm sure it'd be cool just to go play different demos. I'm sure these are all on physical discs. I would much rather have the full games.
But no,
I think this came bundled in with stuff too.
Yeah, demo disc are perfect, especially for VR, because you can tell. I mean, you can try a game out, but you can also tell if a game's just straight up broken or not, at least.
Definitely. And then Iron Man VR. Rick and Morty.
And Slime.
Firewall. Which I want to get the gun for this one first. And then this one looked really cool. It's called The Inpatient. Yeah, so it seems like just like a horror game, which I think VR is perfect for.
Oh, yeah.
So that's everything I picked up at the Springfield convention. Like I said, it's probably like $150 I'd spent here on everything.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. And then today I was just running around. I had to get oil changed, and right across from the oil change place is Big Lots and Goodwill. Thought I'd pop in there. Gumby, which I always liked that show. Never seen all of it. But Gumby, they had started these releases where I think it's the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I believe. There might be 4. There might be the 80s too. I'm not sure. But so I bought the first one for $7. And it also, each one comes with a different figure, and they break them down by each decade and digitally remaster them. But yeah, comes with like the first pilot episode and the making of Gumby.com and shit like that.
About to ask that as a joke about digitally remastering, because all I saw was a figure.
Oh no, it's the discs are in here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the first 10 years of Gumby.
Nice.
Yeah, so probably eventually these are really cheap, so I might complete that each decade. Yeah, he also realized how different Gumby looks in the 50s. I don't know if you can see that or not. He has a way different look to
Yeah.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Then at Goodwill, these are all DVDs that I wanted to watch that probably most of these do not have Blu-ray, and if they do, they're incredibly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite movies, Page Master on DVD. You ever watch Page Master?
It's familiar, but I don't feel like I saw it.
Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd.
It looks so familiar.
Dude, if you haven't seen it, we got to watch it.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of sad you didn't watch it as a kid. I think you would have liked it a lot more.
I'll watch it.
Um,
Trailer. I feel like that'll tell me if I've seen it or not.
this movie I liked as a kid. It was just ridiculous, and so Disney's The Rocket Man, not the most recent Rocket Man. Did you ever watch this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like it as a kid?
Yeah, I did as a kid. I'm sure it's fucking idiotic now, but I liked it as a kid.
Now, did you tell me about this? Somebody's told me about this movie before. Is why I picked it up. It does not have a Blu-ray release. That's The Slackers.
Oh, yeah, you're going to love it. It's fucking
I
great.
thought that was you that told me about that, Casey.
I haven't watched it in at least 10 years, but I feel like you don't mind watching stuff and watching the time frame like when it came out, so I'm sure it doesn't hold up. But I feel like you watch it and know when it came out and you'll love it.
Okay, cool. I thought that was you that told me about it. I picked this up just because I love Andy Dick, and it's The Best Men.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't either. I didn't know this existed,
Okay.
but Andy Dick is awesome, so I'll pick this up. I heard this mentioned before. I wanted to. It's definitely the early 2000s movie, that's for sure. I think this is what's his name, Channing Tatum.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's Elijah Wood, Green Street Hooligans.
I don't know if I ever saw that, but my whole friend group was fucking obsessed with that, so they wouldn't shut up about it. I feel like that's part of why I was like, oh my god, I feel like I've seen this movie 12 times. I haven't seen one part of it, but they loved it.
I've seen. Either you've told me about this stuff, man, or I've heard about this before.
Derek was one of them that loved it, so he might have told you.
It might have been Derek that told me about this, because I felt like that one and Slackers was one you told me about. But yeah, that is everything, my good sir.
All right. I actually have a couple things this week. Oh, go
I
ahead.
need to reorganize all this shit. Oh my god. Just pile. You can go ahead. I'm just gonna pack.
At the Christmas party yesterday, Cody and Renee gave me, I don't know if you can call it a gift, the Lord of the Rings Golem, and new Tales from the Borderlands, so an actual gift there. And then the other two things, well, one of them is media, or always game related, because I know it's pickups now. But I ordered the Backbone for the PS5 because Costco had a sale for $50 and you get a $25 PlayStation gift card. So it's like pretty much $25. I'm definitely going to buy stuff in the PlayStation store. So for that price, it was worth it to me because the Xbox One, for some reason, they don't work with each other. You can't use it and just have the buttons be wrong. They literally won't interface with each other. So I got that. And then this entertainment center I'm using here, Cody's seen it. The wood is so warped that the TV's caving in. And it's an expensive-ass TV, and underneath is a ton of expensive-ass electronics. So I don't know how much longer it's going to hold up. So I bought an entertainment center on Amazon. It was normally, and I've been looking at it, it's not one of those dumb things where they change the price just so you buy it. It was normally $190, and it was on sale for $75. So went ahead and got that, mostly because, like I said, I want everything that I use here to be ruined. But also, since I got this, well, it's not really a complaint about the TV, except I had a wall to hang it on. It'd be perfect, but my only complaint personally is that the TV is so flat to the surface that there's no room for My sound bar. So my sound bar has pretty much been pointless since I've ordered this thing, or since I've got this thing. I have my sound bar behind it, so I've used it a couple times, but it's hardly worth it to go behind the TV and change all the settings to use a sound bar. So this entertainment center will allow me to use a sound bar, which will definitely be a big benefit there as well. So that's another reason I got it. But that's all my pickups.
Very nice.
Thank you. What have you been playing?
Oh man, that is a long one here. Okay, so I'm continuing on with RE5. Same thing, we also jumped into the mercenary game mode, which is kind of like multiplayer for RE5. Essentially, you're fighting waves of the campaign's monsters and the different levels of the game. Essentially, you're just running around trying to find ammo and supplies, and also things to extend your time for different gradings on it. It's tons of fun. You can go through and choose who you want to be in the mercenary modes and which version of who you want to be, and there's some weird, wacky shit in there. Like Chris with like a crazy like minigun, and like I don't know, just go look at some of the characters' designs for RE5 mercenary game mode. It's awesome. And then I finished RE Operations Raccoon City.
Nice.
I will say, I know before I was like, dude, the one scene with Leon, I think I had you play it in the podcast. It was fucking awful. But he does come back for the final mission, and the story finishes a lot stronger with him.
Okay.
I might move on to, there's like 2 DLCs, I think, for it, story DLCs that I might do. One's free, one costs money. But yeah, that ending, and there's like a decision you can make as a group. That's pretty cool. Then we also finished Outriders.
That's right.
I still feel the same. The story in the world, the whole premise of it is really good, but I don't know. Just the dialogue and voice acting kind of killed it for me. And then at the very end, it kind of quickly turns into Destiny, where it's all right. Now this is an MMO, and I don't know how to feel about that. Where it's just different game modes, and there was like we jumped on this raid thing. Games as a service, full circle again.
Yep.
I mean, I might jump in the DLC. I haven't decided yet to see just see where the story goes, or should I just watch a YouTube video on it? Because they showed the bad guys at the end, but then the DLC has like a woman or some shit on the front of it, so I don't know how that connects to the story. Then the last game I've been playing is just here and there on my phone is Vampire Survivors. Which is a really popular roguelike that was would it come out a couple years ago?
I think so. I feel I've been hearing people talk about it for a while now.
Yeah, so I was like, let me try this out. I feel like roguelites are definitely growing on me, just because they remind me of like if you take the point of view that this is more like Tetris. This isn't a campaign. The same way you play Tetris or any arcade game, you don't. The objective is not to beat the game; it's just to see how far you get, try to get the higher score. But then it's even better than that because you carry things over, or you unlock characters, or level things up. And I never feel guilty for putting it down because there's no story element. It's just something fun to. I've been playing on my phone, by the way, with Xbox Cloud Gaming. It works great.
How much do they pay you for that?
I'm doing touch controls with it too. So it's really cool to get Xbox achievements with a fucking mobile game that has touch controls. But that's it. That's all I've been playing.
That sounds like you just fed into my joke about how much they pay you. That's like a sad E3 moment when that girl brought the iPad out and was talking about how she got Xbox achievements on Minecraft on her iPad. I feel like Vampire Survivors always sounded interesting to me until, like you said, I figured out it was a roguelike, and that's not my thing at all. But the goal, maybe not that game. I haven't played it, but it seems like it is more pick up and play, kind of like arcadey. But generally, roguelikes are still, I mean, the main purpose is to beat it, isn't it? isn't that kind of point of like carrying stuff over because it makes you stronger to finish the game?
Yeah, you get. I mean, there might be endings to these roguelikes and stuff, but I just feel like you just get a little better each and every time. I mean, there's an end to some arcade games, you know. There's
Yeah.
like Tetris has that kill screen and stuff.
Hmm.
I feel like you can't think about them in that perspective that, oh, I have to check this off. I have to get to this ending. This I have to beat the final boss and then credits roll.
Isn't that the main appeal? Maybe it's different for like Dark Souls and those games, but I feel like that is exactly how people play those games. They and that's the appeal of people. They build up. Like, it's not about dying or retrying. You learn it and you keep building up your skill, and then you do it so you can finish the game.
Well, no, that because roguelikes, there's a different, it's procedurally generated world each time too.
Oh
Whereas
yeah,
Dark Souls is you like learn the weaknesses to the enemy or how they fight so you can
yeah.
play it better and there's no permadeath in it too.
No, I gotcha. Um,
Respawn in and stuff like that.
yeah. I haven't played that game, like I said, but I feel like that game would be more fun if you could do it co-op. It's only single player, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
Um, the only thing I played besides Outriders, which you talked about, is it's like the opposite. You said you have way too much to talk about. Usually I have a lot and you have like one game. Um, but Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, speaking of Warhammer, played a little more of that. Probably have like an hour or two left till I finish it. But like I said, I'm kind of intentionally spacing out a bit just because I like it a lot. And I feel if you go straight through it, you'll probably enjoy it a lot less because it's pretty samey. So that's all I've been playing though. You been watching anything?
Nope, nope. Just YouTube shit.
I gotcha. Um,
Um, if you want to update on the photo, Google got back to me here. I found the original photos,
yeah, that's what I was
set of
laughing at.
photos. Here we
Um,
go. There's a couple more for you in similar, same pants she's wearing.
so
That's the same, yep.
so are these legging ones fake too? Then now I feel we need to get to the bottom of all this.
The bottom. I see what you're saying there.
um, that's kind of
Yeah,
sad.
I feel like the leggings one's believable. That one's pocket is just, it's like, Jesus Christ, how big is your pocket?
I did notice pockets when he said that. That's why I made a joke about the ass. But the legging one, that's why I kind of believed it and know it seemed ridiculous because the legging ones don't look real to me either. But I think they are. They just look so crazy that it can't be real. You said Google got back to you.
Right, I called him up.
Were you searching more stuff?
No, I was you just Google reverse image search that photo.
I always hear people talk about it. I've never done it. People say it's so easy. I just never even done it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So it actually like sent it back to you. You actually had to wait, or you
No,
just
no,
did it.
no, no.
I didn't know if it like
No,
took time.
I'd done it earlier and forgot to
Oh,
forgot
I
to mention
gotcha.
it. I open up my Twitter and it's just poor Hillary here on.
Now you sound like you are talking about Hillary Clinton. Feels like that's how Donald Trump would call her. Poor Hillary.
My favorite too is I found a post of the Photoshop photo. It also has another guy's handle on here, so these guys just love to take credit for this Photoshop they didn't even make. Um,
That's
the
great.
the comments are hilarious. Just people thinking this is real.
What a bunch of idiots.
No, it's just like boomer dads. Not you. It's just let me see. Somebody says this is her sister Hillary Donk. Someone says I'm just more impressed she's shopping in high heels. Now was that a woman or a man that said that, Casey? I didn't even know what the fuck I couldn't even tell you what the hell she was doing besides this. I thought this was a cash register and that's about all I knew here.
Yeah,
I
I know it's like a joke, like what color dress or whatever, but I was like, you said that, I was like, I don't even remember seeing her feet.
Yeah, that's oh here's the original one. Someone finally has the exact original one. Let's see.
Oh yeah, see, it is real because you can tell her hips are in a different place, so it pushes it out more. So it's real. Just justifying it now.
That's awesome. But yep. So Hillary, she does have a great butt.
That's why I call her Hillary
I
Donk.
That's right, Hillary Donk. I think she looks better with that one. The Photoshop one was just too ridiculous. That one was not okay with me.
You been watching anything lately?
Just Hillary Donk. Just old sad perverts on ChatterBait. That was years ago. I used to think about that guy sometimes. I wonder what he's doing. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. Look at this fucking. You like these sticky notes?
You haven't actually watched anything?
No.
Oh,
I
really?
mean here and there, like YouTube and stuff,
Yeah,
but it's mostly a YouTube guy.
I gotcha. It's not like I've watched much this week either. You just usually watch something. I saw Napoleon in theaters. I know we talked about it in person, a little bit in person. Um, it's a bummer because the battle scenes and the action and the war is fucking phenomenal,
Mm-hmm.
but almost everything in between. It's not just that it's slow. I don't care about that. I knew it's supposed to be a history movie. It's just that I don't think it's very good on top of that. And I love Joaquin Phoenix, and there's his acting in this is real. There's something real off-putting and weird about it. And you think he'd be like the shining star of it. I think maybe just because he's so up, like front and center. But I feel
Yeah.
like he's one of the weaker parts. It seems like to me, and that's not because the supporting cast is anything very impressive. I know I also told you I don't care about having everything completely historically accurate. I know when you're doing these kind of movies, there's going to be some differences. I think you should generally try and follow it. But it was weird that almost every single person had some kind of accent, except Joaquin Phoenix just spoke perfect English with no accent at all. Um, and I just think that's kind of weird. Like I said, I get changes. Like a lot of them obviously probably weren't even speaking English. So I get that you want people to be able to watch it and you not want them to read subtitles. So I think there's reasonable things, but I feel like it's weird to have your main character be the only one that's not doing that. I will say, I feel like the action, as always, probably better in the theater, but especially we watched in, now it's my turn for promotion here. We watched in AMC Prime, and when the cannons shoot off and shit, it's not even a D box theaters where the seats shake, the seats like shake and shit. But I don't know if it's a way that he recorded and filmed it or what, because I've seen plenty of movies in Prime and Dolby, and they sound and look better. But this is probably one of the more impressive ones when the action scenes were going on or the battles. It was fucking crazy. And I went with my dad, and I feel like he doesn't even notice that kind of stuff. We talked about that. Our parents, like audio and video, they couldn't tell a difference in all the stuff we use in the standard TVs, like tube TVs we used yesterday. Um, and he came out, and he actually, I will say, he was much higher on the movie than I am. So maybe you'll be somewhere in between that or like it more. But
Yeah.
he said that he's so glad he went to the theater to see it, and he's like, and that watching in Prime was fucking crazy. He didn't say fucking, but he said it was crazy. He said he's never seen a movie like that before. And I was like, I feel like that says something that he even noticed that. I mean, it's pretty hard not to notice it, but like I said, our parents don't seem to pick up on stuff like that.
Yeah.
But besides that, a lot of sports as always, even though this week for sports has been pretty much awful all around for me, so not much to talk about there. And then I watched the most recent Republican debate because I didn't watch that when it aired. Not as terrible as the last one, but I still don't think it was very good. I think there's four. I think the first one was good, second one was good, the third one was just fucking train wreck, and this one got a little better, I think. But that's all I've been watching this week. You've been listening or reading any books?
Oh no.
I started. It'll be cool to talk about it. You'll like talking about this one called Iron Flame, the sequel to the Fourth Wing, the book that I told you is like Harry Potter. It's trying to clearly be like next Harry Potter, Twilight, whatever big book you want to insert, but mixed with like Game of Thrones because there's tons of dragons and sex in it. And so far, it's pretty much like the last one. It's seems very female oriented and very sexual, but we'll see. I'm like, it's almost a 30-hour book as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get some more quotes for you and share them with you as I go on.
Oh, please do.
I'll try and mark some as I'm listening to it. Anything else before we get out of here? Anything you want to talk about?
No.
No. All right. Well, we won't be doing another episode till next year. You sure you don't want to say anything? It's a whole nother year from now.
Trying to think of something prolific here to say.
Hillary Donk.
Hillary Donk.
All right. Yeah, next week will be Christmas and cut out anything I told you. We're doing Danielle's family's Christmas on Christmas Day, and my family's the week after that. So it'll be 2 Christmases, and then should be recording our episode literally January 1st. So start a new year. So we won't have an episode until probably the 2nd by the time it gets uploaded, hopefully. So thanks for watching, and with this being our last episode before Christmas and not having one till after, make sure you stick around. Special Christmas surprise coming up.
I was like, what is that? And then I remembered.
So stick around. As always, you can email us at currentbackloggers@gmail.com. Peace. You want to say anything big to end the show and the year?
Damn, I don't know.
I think that's...
I don't know. Hillary Donk.
All right, speaking of Hillary Donk, check this out. what did you guys think of that? Was that not amazing? Let us know in the comments. And like I said, this is our last episode until next year, an entire year till you get another episode. That joke never gets old, right? So I know we have a very small audience, and it's usually just a handful of our friends that listen. But I think we've gotten better doing this weekly. Our audio has not gotten better. Hopefully it will hopefully it did this episode, and hopefully that would be a thing going forward. I do want to get Pigskin Over Pizza going again. Things we shouldn't admit, that was always kind of meant to be a sporadic show, but hasn't been one very long time. So hopefully get that going again soon. Hoping to get my streaming set up to be a better thing to be able to stream regularly. So hope that will be the start of the new year, start of the continuation of the current backloggers. So do whatever you can to help us, share us, like the videos. YouTube suppressing us, so let's stop this. You have multiple Google accounts, subscribe. We're still stuck at 49, can't even get to 50. So let's just Hillary donk this shit together, all right? Thanks, guys. Oh, and don't think I forgot about the VGMRs, the video game movie ratings. I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm recording this again because I did forget. But in my heart, I didn't forget. That will be back soon as well. Very soon, actually, because I have a few episodes recorded, or we do. Just got to edit those, and then we're going to start recording new ones. All right, Hillary Donk.